My name is Anthony BlackOwl. I'm Southern Cheyenne, Kiowa, and Seneca. I'm a traditional storyteller for the Cheyenne people. Today I'm going to tell you a story about a mouse, and through self-sacrifice and endurance, this mouse was able to change his narrow sight of the world into more of a broad perspective as an eagle. So here's my story. There's this mouse with other mice that also have narrow sight. The only friends of this mouse was a coyote. And a coyote in our culture is known as a trickster, or one to lead you to do something that you shouldn't do that's antisocial instead of pro-social. So this mouse did nothing but listen to his friends, which held him back. One day, this mouse heard a voice, and this voice was on the wind. We call this brother wind. And with this wind, the voice on this wind says, I need you to travel. I need you to do different. I need you to go on a journey. So when this mouse woke, he went on a journey, and he kept on walking, and he ran into a couple of coyotes. Coyotes say, where are you going, mouse? Says, I'm going to go on a journey because something told me I should. The coyote says, where is that? Says, I don't know, somewhere over that way, far away. Says, well, you'll be back. They all come back. Says, oh, okay. The mouse went for a walk and kept on walking, thinking about what Coyote says. Says, maybe I shouldn't leave because I'm just going to come back anyway. Maybe it's a waste of time. And then he hears this roar. And he says, wow, I really want to see what that roar is. And I start running. And he starts running and running and running. And out of nowhere jumps this huge person in front of him, or a huge being. And says, hey, where you're going? Mouse jumps back scared and says, well, I'm trying to go to the roaring sound. Do you hear it? And then this raccoon, he laughs and he says, well, why do you think that that's going to go somewhere? That's the river, sister water. The river doesn't go anywhere. Says, oh, okay. Well, the raccoon says, who are you? Says, I am Mouse. Says, who are you? Says, I am Raccoon. Let me tell you about sister water. I go there and I clean my hands. And I clean the things that I eat, so the things that go inside of my body, I'm able to respect, and I know that they are clean. So take your time, mouse. Go on your journey. Walk slowly, because if you walk too fast, you might skip over things that Maheo has put here for you to see. Mouse thinks about this and says, oh, Nyaish, thank you. And continues his journey. He's walking slow. He gets up to this canopy of trees. Walks into the canopy of trees and gets... This roaring sound gets louder and louder and louder. He gets up to the bank of the river, and he looks over and he sees lily pads, and one of these lily pads start moving, and then something jumped over. Mouse jumps back and says, hey, who are you? Says, oh, I'm Frog. It's good to see you, Mouse. Mouse says, how do you know me? How do you know who I am? Says, well, because there's many mice that come through here. All I am is I am your guide. And Mouse says, oh, okay, what do you know about the water right here? Says, oh, sister water. Sister water is a water of change. You think when something is dying, we put water on it to bring it back. When something is dirty, we put water on it in order to clean it back to what it originally should have been. Mouse says, oh, okay, how can that help me? Frog says, from this day forth, I will call you Jumping Mouse. And the second he says that, boom, Jumping Mouse goes way above the canopy. And he sees this beautiful, beautiful mountain range. And he feels peaceful. He feels warm. He feels happy about where he is and who he is. And then he starts falling. And then that feeling goes away as he's falling. And he's falling and falling and falling and splash into the river. Swimming over to the side. Mouse gets out, looks sopping wet, really mad at Frog and says, why did you do that? Says, because you need to change. Continue on your journey, and you will do it yourself. I can only tell you to continue on your journey. I can't go with you. So Mouse says, oh, Nyaish. Frog says, remember, from this day forth, your new name is Jumping Mouse. You need to change. So he continued along his journey and walked out of this canopy. As he walks out of the canopy, he sees this huge sagebrush. And in this sagebrush, you see this little mouse's head stick out, And as he gets closer, he says, hey, who are you? And this fat mouse jumps out and says, I'm Fat Mouse. Who are you? He says, I am Jumping Mouse. He says, oh, Jumping Mouse, where are you going? He says, I'm going on a journey. And Frog told me. Fat Mouse says, oh, I know that journey. I was supposed to do the same. But I got scared because there's things that can hurt me, such as the snakes and other things. And I'm afraid. Here in this sagebrush, I'm safe, so I can stay here in my world. So I can stay safe. And Jumping Mouse looks at it and says, well, okay, Fat Mouse, good luck with you. All I know is I want to go where I've seen. Fat Mouse says, good luck to you. Jumping Mouse continues on his journey. He goes around the sagebrush and sees this river. On this river, there's a log going across, and he sees a snake coming back. Runs back to Fat Mouse and says, hey, this snake is coming, is going to eat you, is going to bite you, is going to kill you. Fat Mouse says, no, you remember, I'm okay, I'm safe as long as I stay in this brush and I don't go anywhere else. Jumping Mouse says, okay, well, I'm going to go around and continue on my journey. He went around the sagebrush, and the snake went on one side and totally skipped him. As he goes across and reaches the bank of the river, he jumps on the log and jumps over to the other side, and he continues. And he gets to the base of a mountain, of a hill. And in this, he sees a whole bunch of brushes. One is a different color. And he starts shaking and stands up. Jumping Mouse steps back and says, who are you? Says, oh, I am Bison. Who are you? Says, I am Jumping Mouse. Says, Bison, what are you doing here? Says, well, I'm a guide. But I've lost some of my sight. And I need help so I can guide you up to the mountain. And I know where you need to be, and I can help you get there. But I need your help. I need some sight so I can see clearly. Jumping Mouse thinks about this and says, I have 2 eyes. I can give you 1. And he says, from this day forth, I will call you Bison with Mouse's eye. And his eye flies out and flies into Bison. Bison says, oh, Nyaish, thank you. He says, I can see clearly. Walk below me, and we'll walk up this hill. He says, if you do that and you step on a rock, you'll step on me, and it will cut me, it will hurt me. Bison says, you need to trust me. Yes, my hooves are dangerous, but at the same time, I mean no harm to you. So Jumping Mouse thinks about this and says, okay. And they walk, and they have a beautiful conversation. And they get up to a plateau on the top of this hill. Bison says, this is as far as I can take you. You must continue on your own. Jumping Mouse says, okay, oh, now. He looks back and he sees a spider and says, hey, Bison, Weehawk is up there, and he's going to catch me in his web, and he's going to suck everything out of me, and I'm afraid. Bison says that spider cannot harm you as long as you don't pay attention to it and continue on your path. He says, oh, Nyash. As he continues on his journey, he gets up to this little pool of water, and he's thirsty. He's been a long journey. Takes a sip and looks at himself, and he says, whoa, I look different, and because he's a fat mouse. He goes to sleep and thinks about it for a second. And then when he wakes, he clears his head, and he remembered that Frog says that you fell in sister water or water of change. You need to change in order to grow. So he continued on his path. He reached another canopy of trees. He walks in there, and there's this huge dog that stands up and comes over and licks him. And he says, what are you doing? He says, hey, who are you? He says, I'm Jumping Mouse. Who are you? And the dog says, I don't know. I forgot. I know I have an important purpose. I know I'm supposed to be wisdom. I know I'm supposed to be a leader, but I forgot. I forgot my way. I lost my sight. So Jumping Mouse says, well, I can't give you my sight because I only have 1 eye left. And the dog says, okay, I remember who I am. I am Wolf, and I have a purpose, but I forgot it, and I need your help. Jumping Mouse thinks about this and says, okay, from this day forth, I will call you wolf with mouse's sight, and boom. Mouse is completely blind and scared and says, where did you go? Where did you go, wolf? And says, I'm here, but talking really calm instead of sounding confused. Says, thank you for giving me my sight back. Now, walk with me and listen to my footsteps and follow me and follow below me. And says, I cannot do that because you'll step on me and I can't see where I'm going, so I can't see where you're stepping. Says, and the wolf says, I'm not asking you to see why the way I'm walking or the way I'm stepping. I'm asking you to listen to me. I'm asking you to take your own steps in life. Says, okay. And as they walk, they're happy. And they get to the end of that canopy, and then that sun comes out. And as wolf steps away from mouse, mouse feels warmth and goes, wow, it feels so beautiful. Oh, it's so clean. This is beautiful up here. And far away, mouse hears wolf say, I will see you. Good luck. And I'm glad and proud of you that you've reached this far on your path. And Jumping Mouse says, no, don't leave me. I can't see anything. I'm alone. And then Jumping Mouse hears a familiar voice and sits there and says, it's good that you made it, Jumping Mouse. Jumping Mouse says, Frog, is that you? Says, yes, that is. Says, Frog, how did you get here? Frog says, I've always been here. I've been just waiting for you. Now I'm asking you to jump and to continue to jump. Jumping Mouse says, I cannot do this because the eagle will grab me and eat me. He says, I'm asking you to jump. And as he jumps and he jumps and he jumps higher, he feels these talons go into his back, but they don't hurt. And he feels this wind in his face. And then as he sees his eyes open from his broad perspective, he's able to see the world as it is and how beautiful it is. And he can see all the mice and all the coyotes and all of their trials and tribulations that they go through that are insignificant to what it is to be a hero. To be a person that can overcome our barriers that hold us back. And Frog sits there and says, Jumping Mouse, from this day forth, I will call you Eagle. I'm asking you to come down here. As he flies down and he lands, Frog turns into a human being. And so does Jumping Mouse. And says, we learn from our relations around us in order to be a good person, a good human being. Oho, hit the hand and it walks on his on. Thank you.
The Hero Roundtables are the global events that ask the question, what is a hero? You've just seen one hero talk. To find more and join the conversation, visit our website or social media.